Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, no, I'm good, thanks. You?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It's a bit cold today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, what made you fall in love with football? Let's just start off with something I really liked.
Probably my dad really.
Okay.
Mum and dad taking me down to Lammet to play from the age of 4, I think. And then yeah, just fell in love with from it there. And being a season ticket holder at Blackburn since I was 4 as well, I think probably helped with that. I remember a few flashbacks from. I was actually talking with the kit man the other day about. I think it was in the FA Cup quarter final, semi final. I went to watch when I was 5 at Old Trafford against Chelsea. So so from quite a young age, I've been going to watch football and play football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like because your parents were die-hard Blackburn Rovers fans, you didn't really have another choice? It was like, no, Sam, you will support Rovers. There's no other going with it.
I guess so. Yeah, I think there's a picture of me when I was 2 in Worthington Cup winners top. So I think from a young age, it's probably drilled in that I was a Blackburn fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your dad just like is the one that took you to the games, like made you watch it at home, that kind of thing.
Yeah, both of them really, because my dad's obviously a massive football fan, but my mum is as well, surprisingly. She even, I think because she's got 2 sons as well, she's probably she never used to really be into football, but she's probably as football mad as my dad is.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Aw. And do you reckon, like, when did it go from a conscious decision from being, oh, I really love football to, do you know what, I actually do want to do this full time as a job? Was there like any like point that like pushed it over for you?
I think maybe when I signed at Blackburn, I think
Yeah.
I was 11. I never really thought of it as a job until maybe when I was around 16. I started taking it more seriously.
Yeah.
I think throughout when I was playing Sunday League and younger academy, I just played it just for fun. I mean, even now, I don't really see it as a job.
Yeah.
I'm just getting paid to do what I love, play football.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think probably around 16, 17, I probably take it more serious when I signed my scholarship, and I thought actually like, now that they're paying me, I should probably start taking a bit more serious.
Got a diet as well now,
Yeah.
can't just eat what you want.
Yeah.
It must have been like quite a surreal feeling to go from, like you said, playing it for fun, even though you still do now, to like, this is actually my job now. Like, that must have been a bit of a weird feeling.
Yeah, no, it was. I think when I was 16 and actually signed my scholarship, I had to move out down to digs at Brockhouse. I think actually moving out away from home.
Oh, I didn't realise you moved out.
Yeah, so even though I'm only down the road, I was I moved out, and I think that was when it was like bit serious. And I'm thinking now that I'm actually living away from home, even though it was 10-15 minutes down the road,
Yeah.
it's quite a big thing at 16. Not really.
Yeah. Were you living with like other academy players at the same time? Or
Yeah.
at least you had like other people. It's kind of like a home away from home. Did it feel like that?
Yeah, it was. I think I felt more for some lads that come from like Scotland or London, or even there was a lad, one of my mates, he's from Canada, so he'd come over from Canada and he was obviously miles away from home. So if I was having a rough day or whatever, or I just wanted to come home, I could get my dad to pick me up. Whereas they're just stuck there really.
Wow, that's intense. But so like Blackburn Rovers Academy, it's got the reputation of being like one of the best in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Was that kind of your experience? Like, it was a really like quite nice, nurturing place to be in, like grow up in. Because if you, like you said, you're living away from home, you literally are growing up in that environment. Like, football is your world.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I think it shows with how many academy products come through and play in the first team. I think when I was coming through, it was definitely more, they like to nurture the talent that they've got. It's kind of, when you actually look at it and look at the fixtures and the teams that you play into, the Man Cities, the Uniteds, Liverpools, and the fact that a club like Blackburn could compete with them just goes to show how prestigious the academy is there.
Yeah. And did it feel like a home away from home? Like, was it a nice environment to be in? I know, like, obviously you said moving away from home at 16 is quite a daunting thing for any 16-year-old, but the fact that Blackburn Rovers looks after their players so much make it a bit easier, maybe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, it was a home away from home. I still keep in touch now with the house parents that was there. But but yeah, they cooked us breakfast, lunch, tea, looked after us. Whenever there was ever a problem, I felt at ease to talk to the house parents or the coaches. Yeah, I think it was like a second family, really. I would say.
Yeah. So do you reckon there's any like particular coach or like? I feel like there's a sense of the first team players and academy players are quite like integrated. Like you seem quite gelled together. I say that like you're a first team player now, technically.
Yeah.
Is that the case? Like, do the first team players take academy players under their wing and like help them through? And is there anyone in particular, coach or player, that kind of helped you a lot, like develop?
Yeah. No, I think because, well, I think I've trained with the first team from when I was 16 really. Trained with them a few times as a scholar, and then a lot more recently in recent years. But yeah, I think it's quite a close knit club with regards to that. I'm trying to think of players who've would say I find them all quite easy to talk to, even coming through. Even the big players when I was coming through, so like Bradley Dack, he was pretty easy to talk to from the start. Brereton, he's pretty easy, and then you've got the lads that have come through. So Trav, Bucko. I think because a lot of them have actually come through the academy, you've kind of like grown up with them anyway. So I find it quite easy to get on with a lot of them. Yeah,
like they've already been in your position and they're just like that one step ahead that you're trying to get to now.
Yeah,
that must make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So you signed your first professional deal with Blackburn Rovers. Was it at 17?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you captained the under-18s FA Youth Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like quite a lot of big moments before you got into the first team that have like made your experience. What other things kind of stand out to you other than things like that?
Oh, that's a great question. What, at Blackburn?
Yeah, anywhere.
Because
you had a loan spell at Marines FC as well.
I was going to mention that, and I'd say probably away from Blackburn. I think going on loan when I was 17 to play men's football, even though the standard wasn't as good, but I mean it's still men's football and they're getting paid. I think that was pretty eye opening. That the football was a lot different to academy football. I think the third game I actually broke my nose. So against Mickleover, it was the 93rd minute, and I remember a ball came up. And I seen out the corner of my eye, the left back ran from left. Bearing in mind I'm playing centre half, he ran from left back and just left one on me. But at 17, I'm thinking you never get that in 18s football, 23s football.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say my time at Marine was up there.
Yeah. Did you commute from home when you were playing there? Yeah. So
I'd only just passed my driving test in the October. And I signed on loan in January, so I hadn't actually been on the motorway yet. Like driving, so I think my mum dropped me off the first few weeks and month, and then I actually had to like learn to drive to and from on the motorway.
Yeah.
So the M58, that was my favourite motorway at the time because it was so quiet. I think, is it the M6 onto the M58? The M6 was an absolute nightmare to get on, especially in rush hour when we used to go to games or train down there. But I think it was eye opening for the football aspect, but also for like learning to drive on moors.
It's so weird that it's like impacted other parts of your life that have got nothing to do with football as well.
No, absolutely. It actually was more eye opening for actually being grateful for the position I'm in, because there's lads there that I remember there was one game that stuck in mind, and there was a lad who worked at Costa Coffee, and he was late and he turned up in his Costa Coffee uniform, and I'm thinking, like, these lads work for a living, and even away games. I remember we played an away game at South Shields and we got back at like 2-3 in the morning, and then there was lads who were getting up for work at 7. So it's the commitment some of those lads have is next to nothing.
Yeah. Did you ever think that you might have to work another job at the same time as trying to break into football as a professional career as well?
I don't actually think it ever crossed my mind. Maybe when I went on loan to Marine, I think I thought, like, this is like, if I was to like be down levels in National League or whatever, I would have to probably have another job. But yeah, I've never really thought about it really. I don't know what I'd do. I've always fancied maybe trying out waiting on tables and stuff like that.
Fair enough, you know, when you get to the end of your career.
Yeah, maybe, or having my own business or something. But
put some money aside, open up like a restaurant. You can do both.
I'd love to be fair. Yeah.
Just an idea. But you just said then that like obviously you play central defender now, but you kind of to and fro between a few positions like coming through the academy. What made you like stick and settle as central defender? Like what made you think this is what I want to play for like going forward?
I don't think growing up I never wanted to be a defender. I remember I always said to my dad, like growing up, I say who'd want to be a defender? Like I kind of just enjoyed being a striker, like scoring goals.
I was gonna say the last time I watched you was when you were like 7 years on and you were playing with my brother, and he was a defender and you weren't at the time.
Yeah, and I was just sad. Why does Tom want to be a defender? But yeah, I think it was under 13s or 14s, and I played 9 positions. The only positions I didn't play on the pitch were goalkeeper and right back. But yeah, centre half it seems to be the position I kind of excelled in, and I probably stood out rather than like other positions where I might have been like good or okay. I think centre half was one that actually stood out above others, so kind of just stuck with that.
Yeah. And obviously at this point in your career, it's kind of hard to like switch positions when you like get into the first team. Is there any niggles in your head that you're like, oh, I wish I'd gone for striker or something like that?
I guess so from time to time, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a striker?
When they get all the glory,
they get all
like,
the glory,
could me.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think I just enjoy being centre half now. I've kind of got used to it, and yeah, I think it's becoming an important position on the pitch, more important nowadays. But yeah, I think I just enjoy defending now, which is weird because I never thought I would do, but. Yeah.
You know, never say never. So obviously this season's been kind of like a new era for Blackburn Rovers. You in particular, like you went with the first team to, did you go to Portugal for pre-season?
Yeah.
You went to train with them for pre-season, you were on the bench for the opening game against QPR, new managers come in. What is like, talk me through what that's been like, because it's quite a big transition in Blackburn Rovers as a whole, but also your career and like starting off into the first team.
Yeah, I think from the start of pre-season, I think I kind of just like skyrocketed a bit, because I just kind of, the manager previous, Mowbray, he wasn't, I wouldn't say, he was a fan of me, but I don't think he was a fan enough to trust me yet, because he was obviously a centre half previously, and I think I'm a lot different in the way I play to probably centre halves he would use, where I like to play out from back, take risks. So I think this new manager coming in was, the way he wants to play was probably perfect for my style of football, and yeah, I think I probably got on. I enjoyed Mowbray and I enjoyed talking to Mowbray, but I feel like this gaffer I have a lot more of, not just a bond on the pitch but off the pitch as well. Like he really wants to get to know you. I remember out in Portugal, he made sure he had like a 45-minute sit down with every single player. So you're giving out a sheet of paper with questions on of like your personal life, so you could give them him, and then he kind of like this really, like talk about it with you and ask questions, and the assistant Remy would be sat next to you typing them all up on a computer. So
that's
I think
really nice.
From day dot, like he really wanted to get across to players that he wants to get to know you personally as well as you like on the pitch.
Yeah, that's really nice. How did it feel when you found out you were going to pre-season with the first team? Because that must have been like, whoa, this is like the real thing now.
No, it was. I remember I was talking to the academy manager about it, because I was really like pushing to get on it, because I knew if I just had the chance to show what I can do, then I know that I personally felt the gaffer would like the way I play. Yeah. But when I got told, I was obviously buzzing. I was going over there and just being with the first team and just trying to, like they say, be with the big boys, show them what you can do and stuff like that, show you can fit in. But I was buzzing, and out there as well, it was surreal, to be fair. Like just since I've been at Blackburn, I've never actually been away with the club. So I've been there for Well, I've been there for 10 years now, so Portugal was the first time I'd actually been abroad with the club. So yeah, no, it was wicked to be fair. I loved it.
What did it feel like to train with the first team? Is it a lot different from training with like some of the youth teams that you played for?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The pace and the standard of the training is a lot quicker and a lot better. But yeah, I mean, you're playing with better calibre of players.
Yeah.
I think it took me a while to get used to, not necessarily this pre-season, but because I trained with them before. I think I remember maybe like a year or two ago, I probably struggled a bit to get up to pace because I'd be going from 20, 21, well, it was 23 at the time training up to first team training. It would take me a bit to get used to the pace of the training, but yeah, no, it was alright to be fair. I think the standard is, like I said, a lot better because I mean, some of them have played Prem, played Championship for long parts of their career. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Did it like make you kind of think, this is like definitely where I want to be? Like this is like pushes you more to work harder because you kind of aiming higher. Like if you're in under 23s, for example, you're one of the best players in that team, then you push up to the first team, and it's kind of like little fish, big sea again kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you kind of feel a bit of a small cog. At the start, I was probably the start of pre-season when I went to Portugal, because obviously the gaffer didn't really know me because I hadn't been around the first team. I was kind of more saying the shape and that I'd be making up numbers, and as pre-season progressed, and I think I played at Accrington, played well at Accrington, then we played Dundee, and I was one of the standouts there, and then we played Hartlepool, and I think it was the Hartlepool game, I think the gaffer probably thought, wow, like, he could probably play the way I want to play.
Yeah.
And I think that was more when I kind of thought, I've got a chance this season maybe of playing with this gaffer, because he will give, I mean, he's shown he'll give youngsters chances.
Yeah. So then from pre-season to then starting on the bench with the opening game, how did you like find out that you were on the bench? Like, what was that like, being your first kind of entrance into the team for an actual championship game rather than just a friendly, because you play in quite a lot of first team friendlies, but this was like the first actual game. Yeah,
no, I remember on the day, there'd actually been whispers, so I'd not heard from the gaffer, but I'd heard from some of my teammates, I think I was going to be involved. And I remember we did this thing in the warm-up where it was like, keep your uppers and you put it in the bin. And I had it, and the gaffer was watching. I was having an absolute mare. I just couldn't get the ball in the bin, and he was even stood behind, and I was using him as a backboard. And I just couldn't get him. And I'm thinking, man, he's going to take me off the bench here. Like. But he came to me at the end of the training, and he said to me, I remember he saying, "Sam, how are you feeling?" I said, "Good." And he said, "You're going to be involved, so you're going to be on the bench." And I think I just said, "Oh, thanks, gaffer. Like, thank you." I was just buzzing, yeah. But I think I actually found out afterwards off. I think the physio and a few of the coaches that there was talks in the week that I could have been starting at QPR. So which obviously I was gutted about now because I'm injured at the minute. But yeah, I remember thinking, wow, like to say they were considering maybe even starting me for the game, but being involved was just surreal anyway.
Do you reckon like being involved and not starting for your first game is almost better because you kind of get to watch it from the sidelines, experience like all the adrenaline without like the added pressure, or you just like, nah, I want to start?
I think I just want to start. I just want to play. I think we played Celtic in pre-season, and I think there was like 40,000 there, and I remember thinking, I'd have loved to have been playing in this. Like, I think I excel more, or I enjoy playing more in like kind of like big game scenarios. So the first game of the season at QPR, I remember thinking, oh, go on, bring me on. And I actually nearly came on with about 5-10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
But it never came to fruition.
Still a big moment in your career.
No, it was.
Exciting as
well. It's just a shame I didn't come on, but I'm sure it'll come.
You'll get your time. So obviously Tony Mowbray was manager for 5 years, like was there for like quite a long time, did a lot for the team. But how has it been going from kind of like a well-established manager within Rovers to someone new with a completely different style of playing? Like, how has that been? You said obviously he's someone that gives a lot of youth players and academy players opportunities and kind of nurtures like the younger talent in the team. But in general, like how is the new manager like? What's he been like?
Yeah, no, I think whenever a new manager comes in, as good as this gaffer has been, I think it's quite refreshing. I think as well as Mowbray did for the club, and obviously being a Blackburn fan myself, I can appreciate it. I mean, when he came in, we'd gone down to E1 and he brought us back up and kind of, just brought a more solid base to the club. So he helped us out massive, but I think this new gaffer is, the way he wants to play, it's more like a modern day football. Like he loves the word climb, which I don't know if you've heard, but it's basically just like sprinting back in. He wants his team to be the fittest in the league. He wants us to play out from the back. Like it's just a lot different from Mowbray, the way Mowbray wanted to play. But yeah, it's refreshing. I'm loving it so far.
Yeah, and you think like in terms of nurturing academy players and younger players, he's doing not a better job of that, but he's more open to taking risks. Like you said, Mowbray didn't trust you as much. Lots of managers are like that. Sometimes it takes like a younger, less experienced manager to want to take those risks and come in and do that.
Yeah, I think, on Mowbray's record, he did bring through quite a lot of youngsters. I think he brought through Trav, Bucko, players like that. But I think the gaffer now, he's probably more willing to just like play youngsters. I mean, the other night, Jake made his debut.
Yeah.
Ashes made his debut. I mean, they're only, 16, 19? So yeah, I think he's just a lot, probably, like you said, I don't know if it's the new manager, inexperienced, so you say, because he's not managed in England, where he's more willing to throw on younger players. And I guess younger players are a risk, but I mean, if they're ready for it, like Jake and Ash have been, you reap the rewards from their performances.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the time as well, especially with Mowbray, like they get set in the way they play and the starting 11 that they have, they kind of don't want to defer from that. Do you feel like that was kind of the case?
Maybe, yeah. I guess so. He didn't really change his team a lot, whereas the manager now changes his team quite a lot. I mean, I can't remember the last time that this season where we've probably had the same team for more than 2 or 3 games, which is refreshing really, because it shows players that might not play one game, you've still got a chance of playing the next game, because he rotates his team that much. But I mean, it's like I said before, it's giving youngsters the chance to think, yeah, he could throw him in there. And I mean, I mentioned Ash and Jake then, but I mean, Adam, he lives on the corner, Blackburn lad, he's absolutely, his stocks have rocketed this season just because the gaffers trust him in the way he's played. And to be fair, Ads has fully deserved as much game time as he's played.
Yeah, and like you said, it kind of like inspires motivation in young players, because like the team isn't set as the same team every week. I do have a chance of getting in. Like that's a good feeling to have when you go to training every day, knowing that actually you might be able to play.
No, absolutely. Like I was saying, you just have the confidence to think if you have a good training session, he could throw you in or whatever. Or even if you're playing the 21s game, if you play well, he watches everything. So what he said from the start of the season, and he still does now, the video every training session. If the first team plays playing the 21s game, the first team games, he watches every minute of it. He's that intricate on the detail of it. Like if you're not doing what he wants you to do, he'll see it because he watches everything.
Yeah, that's really good though.
No, it is.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to your injury, I feel like I don't think I've chatted to you about your injury yet. How has it been?
Different. It's been difficult. I can't lie. It's it's just boring really. Just very long and boring. The rehab's going well. To be fair, I'm hitting the targets I should be hitting. I'm progressing my gym more, but yeah, it's just long and boring. It's kind of just a bit waiting for the season to be done really, which I know is awful to say.
Yeah, no, but I kind of, especially when you have like such an exciting start to the season, for it to kind of then just like plummet. And I can't remember where I saw, I don't know if I read it or like you said it on an interview somewhere, that when you did the injury, you thought it might be like a dislocation or something. Yeah. How did it feel when you had it all checked out for it to actually be a lot worse? And obviously an ACL injury is one of the worst ones that you can pick up as an athlete.
I don't actually think it really set in for a couple of weeks. I think I did it on the Tuesday, and I think I went for the scan on the Wednesday, the day after. And even on the way down in the car with the physio proc, we were just like talking about it as if like, I don't think it might be that dislocation or something like that.
So you had no idea you torn your ACL?
None whatsoever. I think because the tests that they usually do for the ACL, because my hamstrings were so switched on, like my knee wasn't moving, so it looked a sturdy knee.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we went for the scan results, remember Proc went. I'd had my scan come out, but Proc knew the radiologist there who checks the scans. He's saying I'm gonna Sam. Before we go, I'm gonna ask him like what it is. So he's texted him, and then the guy's texting back saying, he rang him I think, and Proc was saying, "Oh, do you want me to bring the player with me?" And he's like, "Oh no." So I was sat outside, and I kind of thought for now, thinking, "Oh,
that's so weird.
That doesn't look good if I'm not coming." But yeah, Proc went in and came out, and he said, "Oh, let's go for a coffee." And I was like, "What do you mean? Are you going to tell me what it is?" He said, "Oh, we'll go for a coffee." And I just said, "Oh, just tell us if it's something bad." And he's gone, "Yeah, no, your ACL's ruptured." And I remember the first question I said was, I didn't really understand because I didn't really understand what an ACL injury was. And I think I said to him, "Oh, how long was that?" And he said 9 months. And I went, like, I think everything just dropped. Like, I didn't really know how to react. I think it took me a week to actually like get my head around it. Process it. I think I was more in shock for that week because I didn't really know what to think. It's just such an awful feeling. Like, that's your season done.
Yeah.
Especially.
I was gonna say it must be so frustrating, the timing of it. Yeah. Like, it's the worst time for you for that to happen.
Yeah, the pre-season I had, the being on the bench nearly coming on, and probably I would have been involved in Swansea the next game as well. To then, that's when your season done. It's heartbreaking, to be fair, but I've got my head around it now. But yeah, that first week, especially when he told me, and then the week after, I think if anyone had looked at me, I'd just been straight face. Like, I'd just been in shock. Like, I wouldn't know how to react. But,
yeah. You've been like quite open talking about the mental health aspects of having an injury, which I really like, because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it, and it's like 50% of it is like how it affects your mental health. And you said you had quite like a lot of low days. What were you kind of thinking when, like you said, the week after, and you were feeling like really low? I'm trying not to swear. Low about it.
Yeah. I think you kind of question, like, I think I still question it now, but like, you kind of think like how am I going to even come back playing? Like, am I going to be the same? Like, all these questions running through your head, and you realistically, you're not going to know until you're actually back running or training, like what you're going to feel like. I've only been actually walking like well for maybe like a week or two. I've been walking, but not like comfortably. So I've only been walking on for the past week or two. But yeah, it's kind of just asking questions really. Just so confused because no one can give you answers because everyone's different. I mean, it's an injury that has ended careers.
I was gonna say it's kind of good that you didn't know what an ACL injury was or how bad it could be. Because like, I know from like watching sport for a while that like if you tear your ACL, it does you in for good, or it's something that then keeps happening in the future. But if you didn't know all that at the time, maybe it was a bit less pressure because you didn't know that it could do that. Yeah,
I guess so. Or it's kind of like being thrown in at the deep end. We don't really know what it is. But yeah, I probably know more about it now than the physios do. I'm researching it every single night just to kind of understand like where I should be at. But I think the positive thing is now talking with the surgeon and the physios is the technology that goes into it nowadays and the actual procedure of an ACL op. Like, it's gone to the stage where it's that good you can actually come back better. Than I mean, if I'd have done it 30 years ago, I mean, it would have been my career over. It's just, that's how it is. But I think I'm fortunate that I've done it now, and there is actually like procedures that can happen where you can come back as good or if not better.
I saw the video where you took your first steps without the crutches. You said that you hadn't like planned that. You literally just like, nah, we're gonna bin the crutches off for today. What was that like to actually, and that's quite soon as well, I think, after your surgery to start walking, even if it was just a few steps. How did that feel?
Yeah, no, weird. I was actually off my feet for 2 weeks, so I remember the surgeon said the 2 weeks after, you can't walk for more than 5 minutes every hour. So I was pretty much couch bound for 2 weeks. And then I think it was that video of when I was walking was the start of the 4th week or just before the 4-week post-op. And it's more just, even now, it's more just a feel thing. I mean, you can follow as much of like a program of where you should be at, but if you're feeling like you can do it, then you may as well try it.
So it depends on the person as well, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Literally, I wasn't even planning on. We weren't even planning on walking that week, but I think I just said to Chris, like, I may as well try it. Like, if I can do it, I can do it. Like,
was he like, let me just?
Yeah, just let me just have a second and let me just test my balance. But no, it was alright in the end. And little things like that are just like it makes you a bit happy, because I mean I've been like on the couch for 2-3 weeks before that. It's depressing really, but yeah, no. Like the little victories type thing.
Yeah, little victories. It's kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel, and you did it earlier as well, so it must have made you think, like, if I can do this now, I can keep pushing myself in a healthy way. Don't push yourself.
Yeah, no, not too much. But yeah, no, I mean, even this week, I've been actually doing like actual lifts in the gym. It's like trap bar deadlift with weight and stuff like that.
Oh, that's really good.
To be fair, I've been recording it as well, which I think helps. Well, Chris, the physio, has been recording it, so we've got like step-by-step things, so I don't know what to do with that really. I think maybe at the end I'll probably watch through it, and so then I can actually see like the little progressions. Or even when I'm going through it, I bought a GoPro, and I was videoing little bits of like even the two weeks where I was couch bound, like walking up and down stairs and just...
YouTube account whilst you're off.
Yeah, I guess so, but even just looking back at that, it's just mental. Like I could barely get upstairs and downstairs. It took me like, the first time I came downstairs, because Chris was coming around to my house, the physio, and he gave me the task of like actually getting downstairs. It took me about half an hour. It was the last 5 steps, I was just stuck, I just couldn't do them. I was stuck there. So yeah, I mean, to see how far I've come from there is kind of promising for how the rest of my rehab.
Yeah. This is probably a strange question, but does it hurt still?
I think there's things that kind of flare up a bit, but I mean, touch wood, I've been actually quite lucky so far that the stuff I'm doing in the gym or at home, it doesn't actually hurt that much. It's a bit stiff. I think the stiffness of it. So if I do too much, it will just swell up and be stiff and a bit sore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just got to.
It's hard that you've got to be like patient with your rehab, because otherwise you'll like do steps backwards, but then it's like wanting to do as much as you can.
Yeah.
That must be so frustrating.
Oh, it is frustrating. I think you kind of have to like hold yourself back a bit, because you think...
It's like the greater good.
Yeah, well, if I can walk now, why can't I go on the AutoG jogging or whatever? But yeah, you just kind of...
You feel like you could jog right now?
I don't know, I reckon I could try it. I've been doing stuff in the gym where I've been like ankling and that, and but yeah, I don't think I'll be jogging for another couple of months. So, but they said when I'll actually be, so I go see the specialist in 4 weeks, and then hopefully I should be on the grass in another 4 weeks after that, so around the 4-month mark. But they're saying by like the 6th or 7th month mark, maybe the 6th month mark, I'll feel absolutely fine to play, but I won't be able to play for like another 3 months. So I think that will probably be the hardest bit, where I'm like...
You feel like you can play, but you've been told you can't.
Yeah, let me play, but... Yeah, the surgeon actually said the percentage of... So if you come back on the 6th, 7th month, you've got like a 20% chance of your ACL going again. But if you come back at the 9-month and after mark, it goes down to like 1 to 3%. So it's a no-brainer really.
Yeah.
To not rush it.
It's just being patient, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of getting your head around it really. Accepting it.
Yeah. So it sounds like Rose have been quite like really good with your injury and like helping you through it, like the mental health part, like the rehab. Just talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, I think as soon as I did it, I think the gaffer, I think he said in like with the media, I think he said straight away like the club will be supporting me and stuff like that. I think I got a call from Greg Broughton, the director, and then the other people on the board, so like Steve Waggett, Sahil, straight away they were like, yeah, we'll look after it, so don't worry about that, just focus on getting back fit. And then even the players, I remember, so I had my scan on the Wednesday, and the Thursday morning I actually woke up to a voice note from Daki, like a 3-minute long voice note, just saying like sorry to hear the news, but like you'll be fine for it. Like you've got a good team around you so far, and then just saying if there's anything I need to ask him more help with, then
because he had a similar injury.
Yeah,
right?
no, well he's done it twice.
Longer,
yeah. So the support I got from the club, whether it be the board, the gaffer, assistant manager, players, was just phenomenal really.
Yeah, that's really good. And they offered you a new contract as well. I was going to say, it's quite a bad time if your contract's be running out at the same time you're like, do your ACL in. Did that kind of stress you out thinking, how am I going to get a new contract when I can't actually play?
Yeah, so my deal that I was on ran out at the end of this season. So obviously, I to be fair, that really crossed my mind until the club actually mentioned it. But yeah, it's frustrating in the sense of being around the first team the way I was playing. I'd have probably signed a longer contract.
Yeah.
Than obviously what I've got now.
Yeah, like you were hoping for a longer deal.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I can't fault Blackburn whatsoever. They've supported me by giving me an extra year to this year is like it's a cancelled off year where I can just get better and then come back next year, and then hopefully I'll be in the position where I'll be playing a lot more games and then sign a longer contract with them. So it is probably something that was best for both parties.
Yeah.
Whereas they wouldn't know how I'll come back, which is fair enough as to why it was only just an extra year. But then it gives me the opportunity in this year to just get back fit and strong, and then have next year to like prove myself really, that I'm absolutely fine.
It's good that you've like extended your contract now during your rehab, so you can kind of like just focus on rehab and getting better without having to stress about all that background noise. It's like Rovers are going to stick with you through your kind of whole rehab. You'll have like them with you. That must like kind of be a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, no, it is. I think I wanted to get it sorted straight away. Just for the fact of, like you said, just having it off my mind, so I can just put full focus in on my rehab and make sure I get that right rather than worrying about other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you feel like, obviously, you've said lots of times like you've grown up with bleeding Blackburn Rovers, like you've seen ticket holder, you've watched it with your dad a lot. Is that all you can see in the future Rovers? Like, do you kind of feel obligated to stay because they've helped you through such like bad periods of your career? Well, they will have done. Or are you like, no, it's just where I want to be for the foreseeable future? Like, I couldn't imagine going to another club.
Yeah. Well, at the minute, yeah. I mean, it's just Blackburn. I want to do as well as I can at Blackburn, and hopefully, I mean, they might go up this season, but hopefully when I'm back, then play with them in the Premier League. But yeah. I mean, obviously with the dream to play in the Premier League with Blackburn, but I mean, the aim for me is I just want to play at the highest level possible, and wherever that may be, I do genuinely hope it is with Blackburn. But yeah.
Good chance, you know.
Yeah, no, there is.
Good chance. So close last season.
I know. I mean, we're up there this start this season. We need to keep it up.
Yeah. Okay, moving away from Rovers a little bit. Is there anything that you wish someone had told you, a professional player or a coach or whatever, coming through about playing football professionally that you kind of wish you'd known before you're taking it on, or like something that you would now tell younger players?
Just at a younger age, I'd say just enjoy it more. It's not, you see nowadays with parents putting pressure on the kids, I think they see more the glory that comes with being a footballer rather than actually the football, letting the kids enjoy playing. My dad was always good with that, and my mum never put pressure on me, just let me enjoy my football, and it was always just, if you're enjoying it, then that's brilliant, and if you're not, then just don't do it. But I think I'd just say enjoy the football, but also when you actually sign your professional, don't get comfy, because they always say your first professional contract is the easiest one to get. It's the ones after that that are the toughest. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because you gotta be at it, because if you're not, someone else will just take your shirt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So obviously you've got like a mad football crazy family. I'm guessing you'll be watching the World Cup.
Yeah.
That must make your injury a little bit better. Like you've got football all the way through winter to watch.
Yeah, no,
even if you can't play.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird time for the World Cup to come, but
It's really weird.
Yeah, no, I love watching the World Cup. The last one I watched. Wait, was it last one or was it the Euros? And we watched there, but it was a bit different because it was sunny and we was having barbecues watching it. But yeah, I think with the World Cup being on it, like I say, it made winter go a lot more quickly.
Yeah. And make not being able to play football a little bit more bearable, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
A tiny bit, not a lot.
Bit, not a lot. Yeah.
And like, there's obviously a lot up in the air about the England team at the moment. Like manager, so many injuries. So I got asked this in another podcast, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know how to answer.
Yeah.
If you could pick starting 11 for the World Cup, who would you be having?
Oh, that's a tough question.
It is, isn't it? You think it's going to be dead easy,
Yeah.
and I got asked, I was like, oh my god, I don't know.
It depends.
Pre-injury.
So, am I going off what pre-injury? So none of the players are injured.
Well, so they weren't injured when I did it.
Yeah.
It's a bit harder for you.
Yeah.
Well, if to say they're like better for the World Cup,
yeah.
then who would you have?
Am I doing it because the Southgate plays a back three? Am I doing
Play it however you want. I like picked my formation.
So I play back four.
Yeah, I play back four rather than back five.
Yeah,
because that's what he does.
If everyone was fit, I'd have Pickford in that because I think he's never let England down when he's in there.
No, I'm the same.
I'd have Walker at right back.
Okay.
Or Reece James, but I'd have Walker right back, Stones, and either Tomori or Ben White. I can't choose.
Okay.
And I'd have Reece James left back because I don't think we actually have a left back.
Really? You play Reece James at left back?
Yeah, because I don't.
We have Luke Shaw or just Ben Chilwell.
He's good for England, and I don't know. I think we'd be more solid actually playing the right back there. Controversial.
Okay.
But
I've not heard that before, so interesting.
Yeah. And then I play Rice and Bellingham.
Not Phillips.
No.
Okay.
Because I think Bellingham is ridiculous.
I said the same, to be fair.
He's absolutely ridiculous. Then off the right, I think I'll play Saka. As a 10, I'll play Foden. 9, Harry Kane. And then off the left, I don't know who I'd play out of Grealish and Sterling.
Not Mount.
No.
I'm not a massive fan of Grealish.
Probably Sterling.
Yeah.
Just because he's been good for England, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a
solid team.
It's a solid team. It's a difficult to be an England manager to choose from because he's got so many good players.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like, obviously there's a lot of stick going around about Gareth Southgate at the moment. I personally am a big fan.
Yeah.
I love him.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking about him at the moment?
No, I'm a big fan as well because I think you can't not be with the past 2 tournaments we've had with him. I think he's a bit too negative.
In the way he plays?
Yeah. Because the game recently against Germany we played, where he was playing a back three and 2 defensive midfielders. I don't know if we changed to a 4 or we actually just went more attacking. And we just looked miles better when we were playing freer football. I think when we were too conservative. It's worked, but I feel like other countries have worked us out a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's come into it, but no, I think he's the right man to lead us into it. Where did we come? The World Cup, we got to the semis.
Yeah.
Was it semis? We got to the semis.
Semi-final.
And the Euros, we got to the final. So how can you complain with that?
Yeah. What about after the World Cup, then going forward? Because you did say at the beginning, it's sometimes nice and refreshing to have a new manager coming in. Do you reckon that's what England needs after the World Cup?
Well, we'll see how he does. If he does the same again, we get to the semi-final, final.
Do you think he'll stay after that?
Well, I don't see how he can't if he's actually doing that well. I can't remember the last time before that. It was a long time ago, maybe when I was very young, where England actually got to the latter stages of a big tournament.
Yeah.
If he does it again, I don't see why not. But I'd love to see Graham Potter as the England manager. You are.
He's ours now.
Yeah. Are you a Chelsea fan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he is.
I was a bit sceptical when he first came in. I just love Thomas Tuchel. I was such a big fan.
Yeah.
I was actually on a holiday when we found out, and it was the worst day ever. It came through on my phone. It was like Chelsea Football Club released a statement regarding Thomas Tuchel, and I was like, I just know, because I'd watched the Champions League game where they played Dynamo Zagreb the night before, and I was like, oh, I just know what's coming, and I can't take it. Yeah. And I was just like, I can't see anyone come in and like not do as good of a job, but like I just couldn't see anyone come in and like mould with the Chelsea team. But he's done really well so far.
To be fair, my best mate is a Chelsea fan, and he was devastated when Tuchel went. And when Potter got the job, he was sceptical as well. But I said to him, I think he'll be brilliant for Chelsea. I think out of the English managers now, I don't think we've had an English manager for a while that probably fits the modern day manager, the way he's so adaptive with the way his teams play. I think he's up there, definitely up there as one of the best managers in the world at the minute. I know that's a big statement because he's not like necessarily won anything.
Yeah.
But I think if he can implement his style on Chelsea,
like make his mark on a big team.
Yeah, make his mark on a big team. I think he'll be right up there.
Yeah, and you think he'd fit. Well, Chelsea play very similarly to England anyway. You think he'd be a good fit for England?
I think he'd be perfect. But even so, like you said, I think Tuchel could do well with.
I did say this, you know, and he's out of a job at the moment. I feel like he's waiting.
I've heard he's actually been linked with it.
Really? I've not heard this.
Yeah, I'm sure I read something somewhere that he's waiting for a big job, but I don't know if it was maybe just rumours of people, because I mean his philosophy would suit the way England play. I mean, if England are better in a back three, he's probably the perfect manager out there at the minute that could implement his style on the international stage with England. So.
Yeah, and he's quite comfortable with a lot of the England players as well. That always helps.
No, he is, and he's driven. And he's a winner. He's a born winner. So.
Yeah, he's definitely got a winning mentality.
No, he does.
I do miss him. I do love Graham Potter. I think he's doing a great job, and I like his vibe as well. I think he's like just a really good kind of personality to have in Chelsea, very different from what we've had in the past.
Yeah, he's very chilled.
Yeah, very chilled, just very nice. Like, he's just no drama, wants the job doing, is very clear on how he wants it doing, and just kind of gets people to do it. And I feel like he makes kind of a bit like you were saying, he makes like young players feel seen and like they're going to get opportunities to play a lot more often. Well, yeah, okay. What about, I wanted to ask you, do you watch women's football quite a lot? Or?
Do you know what, I've started watching it a lot more recently. I think
since the Euros?
Since the Euros, and because I've had a lot more time on my hands. I think it's actually been broadcasted a lot more.
Yeah, it is since the Euros.
Since the Euros, so I think it's probably given me the chance to watch it more, because I mean, I didn't, before the Euros, I probably didn't watch it as much. But yeah, now it's been broadcasted more and I've got more time on my hands. I've been watching a lot more.
Yeah, so it's a bit annoying that the Women's World Cup's in Australia and New Zealand next year, though, because that's going to make it really hard to watch.
Yeah, she's going to have to get up early to watch through it.
Dedication for that.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to ask before we play this or that is Ballon d'Or winners who were picked this week. What were your thoughts?
I don't think it was a surprise. I think.
I was quite surprised.
Were you?
A little bit, yeah.
I actually wasn't surprised, because I think the season Benzema has had.
Yeah.
I think I mean, I think Courtois said something, didn't he, about keepers.
Yeah.
Never win it or never get close. But in my opinion,
he won an award though, right?
He won like the I don't know what they call it, but it's like the Golden Glove with the Ballon d'Or type thing. But I don't think. And this is such a controversial opinion, and keepers would kill me, but I don't think a keeper could win the best player in the world, because I don't think...
No, I fully agree. Yeah. I fully agree, because it's very like... This is going to be controversial as well. It's kind of like a one-dimensional way of playing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, no, I agree.
Because the thing is, you can't say anything about it without like getting backlash or whatever, but because the keepers are in the net, their job is to keep the ball out of the net, and that's their main job really. That's probably why defenders haven't won the Ballon d'Or. It's because that's mainly their job. It's rare for has a defender ever won it? They probably have, but a long time ago. But
women have.
Yeah, but I feel like a long time ago. But I feel like you won't really see a keeper ever really win it. That's why they've got the Glove Award.
Yeah, it's kind of a separate award.
Yeah.
What about the women's Alexia Patelis won it again? I was quite shocked this year around because obviously she's been out.
Yeah.
For ACL as well. She's been out for the back end of last season. Obviously missed the Euros.
Yeah.
Out for a lot of this season. I was kind of thinking, and she won it last year. How do you win the Ballon d'Or then?
Yeah.
It's a yearly competition. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's questionable. I think Sam Kerr, I thought. Wait, did she come second?
Sam Kerr came third.
Third.
Beth Mead came second. Because I thought I think Beth Mead came second, and I was thinking, obviously I'm a Chelsea fan, so I was like rooting for Sam Kerr, but I kind of thought Beth Mead deserved to win it this year.
Yeah.
She's been next level international stage.
True,
and
actually. When you put it like that, she has been. I've only been watching it recently. And obviously the Euros I watched, Beth Mead, she's obviously been terrific. But Sam Kerr, I think, well, to be fair, actually, I've watched Sam Kerr throughout a lot this year at Chelsea because I like Frank Kirby as well. But I thought Sam Kerr was next level. She reminds me of like a Harry Kane. She scored a goal actually in a game I was watching, and she kind of like took it on the chest on the turn, and it was like a half volley dip over the keeper.
Was it recently?
It could have been recently. It was either recently or a few months ago.
Okay.
And I remember watching that thinking,
she's so good.
She's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the technical ability to be able to do that is next level.
Yeah, I always think she's a bit like Harry Kane in. This is quite controversial. We're very big with controversial opinions.
Yeah, no, we are.
Like Harry Kane is like moments of greatness.
Yeah.
To me, that's how I see him. And like a lot of the time, like you don't really notice he's there until he like finishes it off.
Yeah.
I feel like Sam Kerr is kind of the same. Like she waits.
Yeah.
Waits to receive the ball and doesn't do loads on the bit. I don't know.
Well, it's the hardest bit, isn't it? Sticking
Yeah.
the ball in.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that is true. That is true. But I feel like they're quite similar in that yeah, they're missing from the game until like they really needed it then, and then they like finish it off, and it's amazing. But that's the only time you see them.
Yeah, no, I guess so. But I mean, like I said,
works for them, doesn't it?
It works for them. It's the hardest thing to do, so probably why they get a lot of plaudits for it.
Yeah, true. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're gonna play this or that. Have you played that before?
I haven't, you know.
So basically, you have two like things like tea or coffee. You've got to say really fast which one. It's kind of like football related with some not football related. Okay, I'll do the football ones first. You've got to say it as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Messi or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
Man of the match or clean sheet?
Man of the match.
Early kick-off or evening kick-off?
Evening kick-off.
Goal or assist?
Goal.
Home game, away game?
Away game.
Red card or own goal?
Red card.
Haaland and Mbappe?
Haaland.
Bellingham, Musiala?
Bellingham.
Okay, fair enough. I'm interested in the Messi Ronaldo one.
Yeah, I've always been a big Ronaldo fan.
Okay.
So I think I got a lot from my granddad. So we used to watch all the Ronaldo documentaries, films. I remember even one time we watched a film and it was Ronaldo used to run with ankle weights and I'd do step overs with ankle weights, and my granddad bought me ankle weights and I'd run around the house in ankle weights like he's going to do anything. But yeah, I've always grown up just being a huge Ronaldo fan. But yeah, I think it's a bit sad at the minute because obviously they're on the way out. I mean, what's Ronaldo now, 37?
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, it's a bit sad at the minute, but at the minute Messi's probably better. I mean, stats don't lie with the way Messi's playing at the minute. But yeah, no, I've always been a big Ronaldo fan.
What about in terms of like how he kind of? I mean, I'm opposite. I've always been like Messi, but at the moment I'm like really not a fan of how he behaves. I think knowing that like a lot of kids watch him, like you said, like they're literally he's so big.
Yeah.
Every kid wants to be him. Probably more so than Messi in England. I feel like more people generally prefer Ronaldo. I think wow, you can't behave like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think last night was probably a prime example when they played Tottenham and he went down the tunnel before the end of the game. It doesn't look well on him. But yeah, I probably do have blinkers onto it. I do. Yeah, I worship him a bit, but yeah, I don't think he's helped himself recently.
Yeah. Okay. And also, you were dead set on like red card over own goal. You're like, that's the fastest one you answered.
Yeah, I hate scoring on goals.
Yeah, I'm presuming you hate both.
I hate being sent off, but I don't think there's anything worse than putting the ball in the back of your net.
Yeah.
I would rather get sent off.
So you can get 2 yellows and get sent off.
Yeah, I'd rather get sent off last man and near the end of the game you're winning to win the game rather than scoring an own goal. And I feel like there's nothing more embarrassing than scoring an own goal. Maybe getting megged, like getting absolutely rinsed to meg, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, this is the non-football one.
Alright.
Okay, you've got to say it faster because you buffered on a lot of them.
I know I did. I know.
That is not how you play this or that. Okay. Summer, winter.
Summer.
Tea, coffee.
Tea.
Spirit, wine.
Wine.
You're a drug addict.
No, spirit. Spirit.
Dine out or takeaway.
Takeaway.
Dog or cat.
Oh, I've got both. I actually can't answer that. I've got both.
Fair enough. Country, city.
Country.
Horror or comedy.
Comedy.
Sun or moon.
Sun.
Cookie or ice cream.
Cookie.
Fair enough. One of them I found was heels or flats, and I was like, shall I just throw it in there and see what he says?
For what was that? Sorry?
Heels or flats.
Yeah, that.
I feel like if you were answering questions really fast and someone just threw that in, like you can't not answer it. I feel like you just come out with an answer really fast.
Yeah. Well, like I said wine. I
was like, drink wine.
Yeah, I don't think I can't remember the last time.
Should be wine or beer.
Yeah, beer. It's because spirits. Spirits threw me. Cause I don't call them spirits, so it threw me. But yeah.
You're thinking vodka coke, yeah. Well,
yeah. If it was like vodka gin or wine, it'd be the vodka gin bit.
Yeah.
I don't call it spirits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't drink wine. I like red wine.
Do you?
Yeah, with a steak.
Interesting. That's very bougie.
Yeah, I guess. Is it? I guess.
When you phrase it as red wine with steak.
Yeah, red wine with steak maybe.
Yeah.
It's healthy for you, red wine.
Is it?
Yeah, a glass of red wine helps you out.
Is that what the physio at Rovers told you?
No, I think I just read it online.